Hello, everybody. It is Monday night, and you know what that means. That means it is time for the Sunday Night League. We are here at Lago Maggiore East for the second round of the 12th season of SNL Formula X, our championship based on Formula One. So, we have an entertaining race in store for you today. Let me pull up our standings and everything. So first, we'll go through the order of people who qualified and what they qualified on. Lynchimus qualified on mediums. Punisher qualified on hards. Jam, Super Toxic, and Alpha Capri all qualified on softs. Ben on mediums, Aloe on hards, Slenderfella on softs, Gasman on hards, Rob on softs, Ajax on hards, Bunnies and Wendigo on softs, and Tamo on hards. And I'll point them out as we go through the grid next. And I also want to talk about who has what tires while we do that. So, first up, Wendigo, who qualified on softs, takes pole position in round 2. Number 44, Cadillacs, first pole in Formula X. Wendigo will drive on triple softs for this round. Bunnies, qualifying second, the reigning champion for Williams, will go with soft, medium. His teammate, Slenderfella, a 2-3 for Williams in qualifying. Slenderfella will go with triple softs going into this round. Fourth on the grid, Gasman, number 89, McLaren, a former champion of Formula X. Gasman will be driving soft, hard for this round. Next, it's Rob on drums, our second Cadillac driver, qualifying 5th today. Rob on drums will go soft, medium. 6th on the grid goes to Ben. Ben, a champion in SNL, being the reigning Group 3 endurance champion. Ben will drive on medium, hard for this round. Jam, next up for Team Lotus. Jam will be going with soft, medium for this round, number 7, from 7th on the grid. 8th on the grid, Alpha Capri lines up directly behind his Toro Rosso teammate. Alpha Capri will be going on medium, hard this round, just like his teammate. Next is Ajax. Ajax will race on soft, medium, hard. He qualified on hards, will drive on soft, medium, hard for this round. Tamo, championship leader, winner last time out for Audi. Tamo will be driving on soft, medium, hard. Next up, it's Super Toxic, the newest driver in SNL. Super Toxic will go medium, hard, number 66 for Team Lotus. Number 57, Aloe. Aloe will be driving soft, medium, hard, the same as his Ferrari teammate. He will go from 12th on the grid. 11th is Punisher. 13th is Punisher. Punisher, number 24, the McLaren, will be triple softs for this round. He'll be looking to move up from his starting position. And Lynchimus, standing in for Kaiser this week. Lynchimus, number 69 for Audi, will be driving on soft, medium. So that is your grid. I will go through championship standings in a second. I do just need a moment first, though. Apologies for that delay. We are back, though, and ready to tell you about the championship standings. So, the driver's standings aren't too difficult to figure out. It's just the finishing order from the previous round, which means Tamo for Audi leads on 30 points. 5 points back is Wendigo for Cadillac. Bunnies sits in third on 22 points. 18 points for Ajax in the Ferrari. Rob for Cadillac on 16 points. 2 points back on 14 points is Gasman. Then it's Slenderfella, a further 2 points back. Aloe on 10 points for Ferrari. Ben and Alpha Capri, the Toro Rossos, on 8 and 7 points respectively. Super Toxic on 6 points. Jam on 5, and Kaiser and Punisher both on 0, having not been able to compete last round, unfortunately. And of course, Lynchmas also on 0, being a reserve. However, the more difficult to figure out bit is, of course, the team standings. So, Cadillac leads the way on 41 points, but only 7 points behind is Williams on 34 points. Audi sits in third on 30 points, 28 points for Ferrari. Then it is 13 points back to Toro Rosso, who are on 15 points, 1 point back to McLaren on 14, and 3 points back to Lotus on 11. So it was a tough start to the season for Lotus, especially, but they, along with McLaren and Toro Rosso, will be looking to move up, as that top 4 seems to be a bit of a breakaway group so far. That is your standings. I don't think there's anything else I need to go through before we get going with this race. So, with that in mind, I think it's time to go for 44 laps of Lago Maggiore East. A reminder, Lynchmas, Punisher, Aloe, Super Toxic, Tamo, Ajax, Alpha Capri, Jam, Ben, Rob, Gasman, Slenderfella, Bunnies, and Wendigo. All 14 drivers going for victory here at Lago Maggiore, only one able to take it. Tamo leads the championship, Cadillac leads the teams. We are ready for 44 laps of Lago Maggiore East. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out and we are racing here at Lago Maggiore. It's a good start for Bunnies. He's ahead of Wendigo already, down towards turn 1 though. He's got the outside line. He's going to swoop around the outside. It's Bunnies into the lead, ahead of Wendigo. Then it's Slenderfella with a decent start himself, but Ben rockets up into third. What a start for Ben. Slenderfella on the inside is going to hold it though. Can he? There's a little bit of contact. Slenderfella does take third back. Then it's Ben, Gasman, Alpha Capri, and it looks like there's some contact behind us. That's Jam going around. Jam has spun around. Jam has had contact with a few drivers there, and that may be a red flag. Let's take a look. Where is Jam now? Jam, Tamo's involved, Ajax and Aloe are involved, and that is more than a 3-car incident, and there will be a red flag called for that. So although Bunnies leads the way from Wendigo, that is that for this start. So there has been a red flag called, drivers starting to exit the lobby there. Next up, let's get to the actual race. So a chaotic start to that one. It'll be a rolling start now. Still the same grid order. Still Wendigo leading the way from Bunnies, Slenderfella, Gasman, etc. Let's get racing at Lago Maggiore, this time for real. Wendigo leads the way down towards turn 1. It's a rolling start, so there will be a lot of difficulty trying to make overtakes into turn 1 on this occasion. But I would say we still might see some, as we can see Alpha Capri out wide a little bit there, under pressure from Ajax behind. They are 3 wide. Rob looks like he's had a bit of a moment perhaps, struggling to get the traction down out of turn 2. It's Rob, behind Gasman, who's looking for a move on Slenderfella. Slenderfella, and it looks like Bunnies is looking for a move on Wendigo as well. Bunnies goes for the lead of the race down the inside, but he runs wide, and Wendigo's going to retake the lead as Gasman does indeed get past Slenderfella at the same time. So one Williams losing a position, the other failing to gain one. It's not looking good for Williams on lap 1. Cadillac leads the way with Wendigo from Bunnies, Gasman, and Slenderfella, who are a clear breakout group ahead of Rob on drums, Ben, Jam, and Alpha Capri. We have more action at the front, though, as Slenderfella goes down the inside of the final corner. Can he pull off the move on Gasman? Not quite yet, not on lap 1, but I think he'll be looking for more opportunities soon. Bunnies to the inside. Can he make the move on Wendigo into turn 1? He does indeed. There we go, so that's Bunnies into the lead, but Wendigo's going to fight it back. He's got the inside line for turn 2. Can he pull it off? No, he's going to have to wait for turn 3 at least. Nothing doing through there. Could he make a move down the inside of turn 4? Think better of it. A little bit of contact there. Bunnies a bit slower through turn 4 than Wendigo expected. And that'll put Wendigo under pressure from Gasman, who we're going to go on board with now, down towards turn 5. There's a kink to the right going into this corner, then you do the main right-hander, and then there's a kink to the right coming out of it, and Gasman nails it. Gasman's up into second position. Now it's Wendigo down to third. From first to third in one lap, can Slenderfella put some more pressure on the Lithuanian ahead of him? Behind that, Ben has gotten ahead of Rob, who is now under pressure from Alpha Capri. Ajax looking to put pressure on them, but he's driving on the hard compound tires, so that's not going to be easy, and it looks like there's more action up at the front, as Wendigo has gotten back past on Gasman. Let's take a look at how he's done this. On board with Wendigo here, the Cadillac driver goes to the inside of the final corner, brakes late, gets a bit of an earlier apex than the McLaren, and he's through just like that. Cadillac managing well. So Ajax there, trying to put pressure on Alpha Capri, but he's on the hard, so that's not going to be the easiest thing. Punisher, triple softs in this race, remember, is going strong in ninth, but Tamo's looking to challenge him here. Tamo to the inside of turn 1, not able to pull off a move yet. He is on hard compound tires, so he's going to be hard done to make a move on the triple soft runner ahead of him. Softs for Aloe, softs for Jam. These two, bit of contact when we have the red flag, but they continue on just fine after the restart. Super Toxic and Lynchamus behind. Lynchamus looking to put pressure on Super Toxic. The Audi driver wants a move on the Team Lotus car. Team Lotus and Audi both having a tough time so far. Neither of them in the top 9. Tamo just in the top 10. But if Aloe can get him here, he's going to be pushed out of the top 10. Can Aloe get him on board with the Ferrari driver? Nothing available yet in terms of moves. Ooh, as Aloe runs a bit wide, that looks sketchy. Here comes Jam. He's got a nice move done there. Jam up into 11th position, ahead of Aloe. Super Toxic now looking to put pressure on Aloe. It's going to be 2 Lotuses past Aloe in one go. Can he get it? Super Toxic runs wide, but Aloe has oversteer. They're side by side down towards turn 1. Who's it going to be? Under braking. Will it be Super Toxic? Will it be Aloe? Aloe brakes later, but he's got the outside line. That'll turn into the inside. He's got the move done. He's back ahead of Super Toxic. Aloe never in question. He'll be looking to move forwards now. He wants a move on Tamo, and then he'll want one on Jam. He's going to be scything his way through the grid soon enough. Oh no, that's Tamo spinning around. The Audi driver goes round for a spin. That's our championship leader down to last in this race. That is disastrous for the Audi driver. It's Bunnies who leads the way for Williams ahead of Wendigo, and he is pulling away rapidly from the Lithuanian. The Canadian out in front, where we're used to seeing him, the champion, the reigning champion in every current series of SNL, GTE, Endurance, and Formula X. Bunnies has won it all, but Wendigo still so new to Formula X. He's only got one win, but he's been so close to pretty much all of them that he's been in. Wendigo. Has Wendigo ever finished a race off the podium? Yes, he has. His debut race, he got a post-race penalty which took him off the podium. But other than that, I don't think he's ever finished off the podium. Matter of fact, other than that, I don't know that he's ever finished lower than second in SNL. He finished 4th in his first ever race, then he won, then he was second, then he was second again, and he was second again. That's a lot of second places. And then he was second again for his first Formula X race, if you count the Radical event. He was 4th there, following a post-race penalty for ignoring blue flags, dropping him behind Pat. but being a special event with a knockout style, that is a little bit special. In regular series stuff, though, he's got 1 4th place, and then nothing worse than 2nd. Gasman behind, he's had his fair share of wins and 2nd places as well. He's also had a fair share of 3rds and below, but that's what comes when you've been a driver in SNL since day 1. Gasman's been here a long time. In the McLaren, Slenderfella trying to keep with that group ahead of him. Then it looks like he's struggling for traction on those mediums, but he's right on the overtake, trying to make up for the lost time from the wheel spin. Ben is looking strong in the Toro Rosso this race. Last time out, it was a difficult round for the Toro Rossos. Triple hards for both of them. But this time they remembered to submit their tires, and this time they got the right ones. Excuse me, medium hard for both of them, I believe. Yes, medium hard for the both of them. Punisher behind has moved up the grid nicely. He qualified in 2nd last, I believe, 13th on the grid. He'll now be up in 6th position, under a little bit of pressure from Jam. Jam not quite in striking distance necessarily, but definitely keeping Punisher honest at this stage in the race. The 2 Ferraris run line to stern. I think Aloe just made a move on Ajax, in fact. Soft tires working better than the hards on the Canadians car. The 2 Ferraris running very, very close together, though. And you can see the way Ajax just has to be so much more cautious through this opening complex of corners than Aloe does. The soft tires, they really give you an aggressive kind of edge, whereas the hards are just struggling there. They can't push as hard as Aloe looked like he went a little bit wide there, but he manages to get away with it. He'll survive that all right. It's super toxic, putting pressure on Rob on drums now. Let's go on board with him. Coming out of the S section, nothing possible yet for Super Toxic. He's just going to have to sit behind Rob on drums for the time being. Alpha Capri, meanwhile, putting pressure on the Lotus driver. He looks to the inside for a moment. The Lotus driver, the Team Lotus driver, looks to the inside for a moment even on Rob on drums. It's like gone one camera view too far there. There we go. Back to the TV camera. And it is Super Toxic. Ooh, almost hitting the back of Rob on drums. He really wants past on the American. I'm not sure if this is not related to... was actually Alpha Capri makes the move on Rob on drum. Apologies, on Super Toxic. The Toro Rosso driver up to 11th position. It's Audi last and 2nd last. The German team having a really rough time of it. No pit stops yet for Tamo. A spin on lap 4, but otherwise, it's just been pace that isn't quite there on the hard compound tires as he nearly spins again. Lynchimus continues on. It's Wendigo in 2nd, but he's still got a little bit of pressure from Gasman. Slenderfella in 4th position is completing a very strong race for Williams so far. Now we're not even a quarter of the way through the race. Almost there, not quite. But Slenderfella, nonetheless, so far is running very nicely for Williams, just off the podium while his teammate leads the way. It is looking perfect for Williams, who sits 2nd in the championship so far. And if they can finish like this, they may very well take the lead. However, we are a long way from the end. No guarantee that they finish like this at all. Who knows, Ben could pull off a win here. Ben is a rapid driver in that Toro Rosso. I think his tires won't favor him too much for this round, but he's managing them really nicely so far. The mediums on that car not falling too far behind the softs of Slenderfella. Punisher on softs, speaking of which, let's see what his past 2 lap times are. 105.1 and a 104.999. If we compare that to Ben, 105.3 last lap, 104.9 the previous lap, 105.3 the one before that, 105.8. So it seems a little bit back and forth between him and Punisher, but Punisher, I'd say, dropping a little bit behind Ben as it stands. Jam, though, keeping Punisher honest. Aloe putting proper pressure on Jam, fighting for 7th position here, number 7 in P7. And a stat I wanted to mention is that I believe no Ferrari has ever won at an Italian race in SNL. I may be mistaken about that. I don't think we've ever had a Ferrari win a Formula X race in Italy, though. I know if we go back to season 4, it was the Aston Martin of Wolfbane that took victory. Season 5, I don't believe we had an Italian round. Season 6, it was the Red Bull of Bunnies that won. Season 7, I don't believe we had... Oh, no, actually, no, that was in McLaren. Season 7, we had the McLaren of Bunnies win in Sardinia. Season 8, I don't know that we had an Italian round in Season 8. Season 9, though, it would have been the McLaren of Ajax that won in Monza, if I'm not mistaken. Season 10, it was the McLaren of Bunnies winning in Lago Maggiore. Season 11, I don't believe we had an Italian round. And Season 12, well, Ferrari's still in it. Aloe sits in 7th, Ajax in 9th. But that's not quite where they want to be. It's Gasman putting a lot of pressure on the Cadillac of Wendigo now. If anyone can remember, anytime a Ferrari has won the Italian Grand Prix in Formula X, do let me know. But I certainly can't think of any. It's Gasman putting pressure on Wendigo. He's wanting to make this move, is the Scotsman. We've got a Canadian in the lead, a Lithuanian in second, a Scotsman in third. Although he flies the British flag on GT7, Ben often drives with the German flag on his car, so a German in 4th and a Brit in 5th. It's Aloe putting pressure on Punisher, though. Aloe is through in the Ferrari Punisher. I wonder if he'll be wishing he'd stayed with Ferrari for this season. Drove for them last season, took the Constructors' Championship home with Bunnies on that occasion. Now he drives for McLaren, but he's got another very strong champion-level teammate, in fact, in Gasman. Aloe takes over the mantle of Ferrari driver, though, and he and Ajax will be pushing for the Constructors' Championship this season. Ajax, a previous Drivers' and Constructors' Champion in SNL. Aloe, I'm sure he's won team championships. I don't believe he's ever won a Drivers' Championship, but Aloe, whether in GTE or in Formula X, I am sure by now that he's won a team's championship. I can't imagine a driver like him has no championships to his name, either during teams or drivers. And is that Tamo a lap down? It is. Tamo is a lap down on a number of drivers. He is fresh out of the pits, so that'll be part of why he's so far back, but he is a whole lap down. That is immense. As Ajax comes out of the pits himself, he is not a lap down. But the next driver on track behind him is Bunnies in the lead. So if he gets overtaken by anybody, he'll be a lap down. Gasman up into second. Did he just get past Wendigo? He did. It was down the inside of the final corner. That's exactly how Wendigo pulled off the move on Gasman. Gasman returns the favor, and he's through into second. Gasman, the McLaren driver, ahead of the Cadillac. Slenderfella's dropped behind Ben. I wonder if there was a mistake for Slenderfella on the previous lap. He's now under pressure from Aloe, number 57. I just want to check that Wendigo isn't already putting pressure back on Gasman. He is putting pressure, but no opportunities just yet. The Cadillac driver looking for a chance to get through any time now. He'll want this position back. If there's anything we know about Wendigo so far in his SNL career, is that he can stick with somebody who is ahead of him very well. He will send it past just at the right time, and then he will fly away from you. This is one of the quickest drivers we have ever seen. Gasman saying, nope, I don't think a Ferrari has won in Italy. And that's a bit sad to hear from Gasman, who drove for Ferrari for 10 straight seasons. Drove or team principal for a Ferrari for 10 straight seasons. He is synonymous with the Ferrari name in Formula X. Evening All says, Slenderfella, hello Slenderfella in the chat, good to see you. As that is Lynchmas who comes out of the pits, just behind Wendigo and Gasman, but of course a lap down is the Audi driver. And Wendigo still putting pressure on Gasman, nothing he can do yet to make that move. Then, looking comfortable in a bit of a no-man's land. A mistake would easily put him in the clutches of Slenderfella, Aloe, and Punisher. But should he be able to avoid any mistakes, he looks pretty comfortable up in 4th position. Not really able to challenge Wendigo ahead, not really under pressure from Slenderfella behind. It's Slenderfella from Aloe from Punisher. You've got an Audi in the middle of that mix. That is, of course, Tammo, who is onto the mediums now and should be picking up the pace. So 105 one last lap is his personal best so far, so indeed picking up the pace he is. Lynchmas fresh out of the pits in 13th. Alpha Capri in the pits. Rob on drums now fresh out of the pits as well. He is right behind Bunnies, so he is a lap down just for now. Ajax putting pressure on Jam, the Ferrari driver. Let's see if he can get an opportunity on the Team Lotus driver. Down the inside. It's a smooth move. Can Jam pull off the switchback? He goes for it. The Team Lotus driver might just get him back. The Brit on the outside. Can he pull it off? He'll have the inside now. It'll turn into the outside again. Oh, Jam a bit wide. Is that into the wall even? It looked like it is. And Ajax through on Jam. The Canadian up into 9th on the soft compound tires. Same as Jam. Both of them look to be fresh out of the pits. Ajax a couple laps ago. Jam on his out lap now, possibly. No, apologies, on his first flying lap now. Punisher out of the pits now on his out lap. And Ajax is right behind him, so that might be another target for the Ferrari driver. Slenderfella on his out lap now as well. Looking good in 7th. Wendigo pitted, comes out in 6th. Super Toxic not into the pits yet. He is ahead of Wendigo. Aloe continues on for another lap, then into the pits. Gasman continues on, and so does Bunnies. So Bunnies on his way in first. Gasman's going to enter turn 4 now, while Bunnies is going through turns 5, 6, and 7, if you count both pinks as corners themselves. Behind him, Aloe. It's a Ferrari on the podium for now. Strategy might play out to drop Aloe a little bit further back. On those soft compound tires, he may be able to pull himself further back up the grid, but Aloe, soft, medium, hards, he'll probably be in at the end of this lap, so he'll have to make use of the mediums and hards a bit better or a bit better than the drivers ahead of him, I should say, to pull himself into a podium position. It's race leader into the pits. Bunnies comes in. Gasman continues on for another lap. So Gasman will go at least 18 in this first stint. Behind, Bunnies in the pits. Aloe into the pits as well. Wendigo through the S section now. We'll pay attention. We'll keep an eye on him. And keep an eye on when Bunnies comes out of the pits himself. See where these two are in relation to each other. So Bunnies comes out of the pits now, through turn 1 now, and there's Wendigo going across the start-finish line, so a decent gap between them. Gasman is the one we'll want to watch next for this lead battle. He is looking low on fuel, but he's using the overtake nonetheless. He is going to get everything out of this stint. Number 89 rounds the final corner for the final time in the first stint of this race. At least I certainly hope it's the final time. He cannot make another lap on that fuel. Indeed, he is into the pits. So it's Bunnies in second, who should usurp the lead once he goes by the pit lane, where Gasman should still be. Wendigo in third. The real question is, where will Wendigo be in comparison to Gasman when Gasman comes out of the pits? Super Toxic in fourth. He will be into the pits in just a moment. Let's see how perfectly he can manage this fuel. He is low on fuel. But he makes it to the pit lane before he runs out. Wendigo goes by the pit exit now. There's Gasman just in front of him. But Gasman has refueled less than Wendigo. Gasman has less fuel left in his tank, so Wendigo would have undercut him. But Gasman's fuel strategy is what's brought him out ahead of Wendigo, but these two look like they're about to have a vicious battle. It's Wendigo on the inside, on the exit of the corner. What a move from Wendigo. Can Gasman fight it back? Ooh, a little bit later on the brakes, but nothing doing yet. On board with the Scotsman, struggling with the cold, hard tires, and Gasman is going to drop away from Wendigo rapidly. These tires not working for him, Gasman running soft, hard, so this should be a short, hard stint before another stint on the softs. Wendigo comparatively, soft. Wendigo is going all out in this race, and he desperately wants this. Bunnies continues on his way. He is soft medium in this race. He's put on another set of softs, so he'll end this race on mediums. That'll be interesting to see how he does in comparison to Wendigo's softs at the end of the race. Gasman will be on softs at the end of the race as well, but on the hards, he may fall away from these two a little bit more than he'd like. Slenderfella in fourth. He's ahead of Ben now. So Ben on the hards will likely have a bit of a hard time here, but he's doing the same thing as Gasman. He's doing his softest tire for the first stint, which in Ben's case is mediums. Then he's putting on hards for a shorter middle stint, and then he'll go back onto his softest tire, again in Ben's case the mediums, and finish the race out like that. So he's really prioritizing the starting and ending stints. Ajax behind in sixth on softs, running a strong race considering he started on hards, will now be on mediums. The Ferrari driver looking to close up to the back of the Toro Rosso ahead. Slenderfella even ahead of him. Could Ajax pull a move on Ben and get himself closer to Slenderfella? Slenderfella on soft, so he won't be quite as easy to catch up to as Ben. Unfortunately, even the top-level drivers in this league, if you put on the hards, you're going to start driving slower than the guys who are usually a little bit behind you. The field here is so close. I mean, in this particular race, it is spread out, but the skill field, I mean, Bunnies is reigning champion, but if you put him on the hards, I can guarantee you, somebody like Punisher, Ben, Slenderfella, people who are usually upper midfield, they will be faster than him, for sure. It is very close, and that is what's made it so difficult for these top drivers. I'd say we have 5 top drivers this season, probably. I'd say the favorites for the championship are those top 5. Bunnies, Wendigo, Gasman, Ajax, and Tamo, although Tamo having a very tough time this round. I'd say those are the favorites generally, though. But if you put any of those top 5, they're not far ahead of the rest. I mean, if you look at it, the top 5 currently has Slenderfella and Ben in it, who are definitely upper midfield. But if you consider those 5 that I just mentioned the top 5, then it should be worth note that 2 of them are not even in the top 5 because this grid is so fast that a good round for one of those upper midfield drivers as Ajax around the outside of Ben. What a move! But Ben's going to go to the inside. He wants that position back. Nothing doing there on the hard compound tires. It was always going to be hard to get that position back. And softs for Punisher behind. He has triple softs in this race. So Punisher will surely be looking to get a move on Ben now. The grid is so close together that top 5 I've mentioned, those favorite 5 for the championship, even they are at genuine risk on any given race of falling right back down into the midfield and behind a lot of the top drivers within the midfield. Slenderfella, Ben, I mean, Ben is a proven race winner in SNL, in Formula X and in Endurance. He is rapid, Slenderfella, a podium sitter in Formula X, I believe, previously. At least one podium that got taken away by a post-race penalty, if I'm not mistaken, in Nürburgring in Season 8. But beyond that, I believe he's had podiums, although I can't call any particular ones to mind, as there's been an incident, and Bunnies has lost the lead to Wendigo. There's been an incident. What has happened here? Bunnies is leading the way. He's coming up behind the lapped car of Super Toxic, and Super Toxic, there's contact, and Super Toxic crashes with Bunnies, who goes around, spins the car back around, and then there goes Wendigo. Wendigo's into the lead of this race on his triple softs. Bunnies has gotten going quickly there. You can see him in the background there. But Bunnies was leading the race with a comfortable margin, came up to behind a lapped car, and there's contact. Calamity for the leading driver, for the reigning champion, who now drops down to second. Gasman still behind him, thankfully for the Williams driver. His damage fixes itself, but now he's going to have to hunt down Wendigo, who is triple softs in this race. There is one stint to go after this one. Wendigo will be on softs, Bunnies will be on mediums. This race has been turned on its head. Bunnies looked so comfortable out in front, and now that little speck that you can see up in the distance, that's Wendigo, and Bunnies has to hunt him down now. Wendigo, a couple laps ago, a 104.0, has his personal best of the race. Bunnies matching that a few laps ago, but a couple thousand slower. Bunnies might not have the pace on Wendigo that he needs. A tenth faster than Wendigo the lap before the incident, but Bunnies has been thrown behind Wendigo all of a sudden, who has every opportunity now to go win this race. His second SNL race win, his first in Formula X. He battled it out with Tamo so hard last week. I'm sure he was extremely disappointed not to quite be able to take victory last time out in Trial Mountain. And although it's been handed to him with an incident, not quite the way he will want to win, he is now in prime position to win. The Cadillac driver looking strong now. Bunnies, though, he's not out of contention. He could still win this. He is not out of this. A 105.1 on the previous lap for Wendigo. Bunnies, a 104.3. So pulling in by 8/10 last lap is Bunnies. He is not out of this. The Williams driver, you can see him in the background of that shot. He will be looming in Wendigo's mirrors. At the end of any straight, Wendigo checks his mirrors, and Bunnies will be there, just in the background. Gasman, he'll see this and wonder if his softs could bring him up to the top. Super Toxic commenting about that incident, apologizing for it, and being Bunnies myself, I can say you are forgiven. But Slenderfella in fourth. Don't beat yourself up about it too much, Super Toxic. But Slenderfella in fourth. Now, we'll see his teammate drop a position. We'll see Gasman on hards. He's actually closing in on Gasman, being on soft compound tires right now. Slenderfella could be sniffing a podium here, actually. This is looking really good for Williams, even with Bunnies dropping down to second. Slenderfella is seeing an opportunity at a podium appear suddenly. With those hard compound tires really not working for Gasman, I think Gasman will be off of them within the next few laps. But Slenderfella could just about pull himself up to the podium positions. Ajax sitting in fifth, Punisher behind. Ooh, a little bit wide on entrance to the S's there. Ben sitting in his slipstream, trying not to let him pull away. Ben is going to have mediums for the final stint. Punisher is going to have softs. It'll be difficult for Ben to get ahead of Punisher in the final stint, but it might not be impossible. So a little bit of contact there. You can see the smoke rising as Jam and Rob side by side. Rob is going to take the position, the Cadillac driver, the American, into 8th position as Jam pulls into the pits now. Aloe in 10th. Ooh, Aloe! What a save! Just about keeps it going. Tamo in 11th, Alpha Capri in 12th, 13th is Lynchmas, and 14th is Super Toxic. Wendigo, it's already under pressure from Bunnies. Bunnies is right there. Wendigo setting a 105.5 last lap. It was a 104.1 for Bunnies, who closed in by 1.4 seconds. Bunnies is not giving this up. The Williams driver really wants it. And we are happy to have you in the lead this season, Super Toxic, and you are more than welcome to stay for further seasons. We are happy to have you here, as weaving their way through traffic are Bunnies and Wendigo, in between Jam and Lynchmas. Oh, as Jam goes around. A little bit of contact there with Lynchmas. Super Toxic in the pits, but Jam, around goes the Team Lotus driver. Bunnies putting pressure on Wendigo. He's got the better exit. Out of turn 4. Pulls back into the slipstream. Nothing doing yet. Now to the inside of 5 and 6. Can he make the move down the inside at 6? He tried it at turn on lap 1, but lost the position immediately. He pulls it off this time. Bunnies back into the lead. He's making use of those soft tires. Well, he still has them, but he'll be onto the mediums soon enough. And if Wendigo can keep with him, Wendigo's softs are destroyed compared to Bunnies. Wow! Look at the difference in the tire wear. Look at the bottom left corner of your screen. We're looking at Bunny's tires right now. You can see the red. The red compared to the white. That's the amount of wear he has on his front compound tires there. Now we're going to go to Wendigo. Look how much more worn they are. There is so much more red on those. And it's suddenly no wonder that Wendigo was losing time hand over fist to Bunnies while he was trying to catch back up. Wendigo's tires are not holding up the way he needs them to. The Cadillac driver is suffering here on those front compound tires. Slenderfella in third is ahead of Gasman, but Gasman's pitted. I thought Slenderfella had just gone past Gasman and Gasman had spun or something, but no, Gasman into the pits, off of the hard compound tires. What will he be on now? Gasman has soft compound tires to go. So good to see, he should be looking strong on those softs. Ajax, off to the softs now, he should go onto mediums. Ben, onto mediums as well next. Alpha Capri, off of mediums. I think we'll be going on to hards, if I'm not mistaken. Lynchimus in 11th, just ahead of Jam here. That is a glitch. Jam did not pit 4 laps in a row. Comparatively, though, Lynchimus will pit now. Tamo, 13th. He's in the slipstream of, is that Gasman a lap ahead? Possibly it is. Let's take a look. No, it's Punisher the lap ahead. Punisher, sitting in 4th. Triple softs paying off. He will need to pit one more time in this race, but so far, looking very strong as the McLaren driver. Coming from, I believe, 13th on the grid. He is looking strong. Let's go on board with him for a moment. You can hear the tires screeching behind from Tamo's car. Punisher, though, running an excellent race, and I'd say the battling in this race has been fantastic. This has been an extremely entertaining race. Every time we get the driver close together, we have opportunities for overtakes, as Rob on drums just having lapped Alpha Capri there. Aloe in 6th. 7th is Gasman. So Gasman onto the softs now. He'll be going softs to the end. Wendigo into the pits now. Wendigo in. So when Bunnies pits, we'll want to keep an eye on where he comes out in comparison to Wendigo. We also want to see where Gasman is in comparison to Wendigo. Gasman's hard tires dropped him a ways behind Gasman before his pit stop. But let's see where he is when Wendigo comes out of the pits and Gasman has had a few laps on fresh softs to bring him up towards the front. Wendigo's already out of the pits. Wow. Wendigo's got a huge gap to Gasman. Is Gasman even going to get ahead of these guys? Slenderfella comes out of the pits ahead of Gasman. Wow. Slenderfella's jumped into a podium position. And he's got softs to the end. Slenderfella, you have played a masterclass of a strategy. Can the Williams driver hold on to a podium? This would be fantastic to see. I mean, it would suck for Cadillac, who is the only team ahead of Williams in the Constructors' Championship. They will be seeing this. Wendigo and Rob will be looking at the top 3 going, oh no, Williams 1 and 3, or 1 and 4, apologies, but a net 1 and 3. they will be shaking in their pants. Their timbers will be shivered. But Gasman's going to have an opportunity around the outside into the final corner. Number 89 on number 21. McLaren on Williams. Historic teams in Formula 1. We have seen them duke it out on track in Formula 1. We've seen them duke it out on track in Formula X. We'll see it again now. Here at Lago Maggiore, we are in for one hell of an ending to the race. Bunny's yet to pit. We'll see where he comes out in comparison to Wendigo. Although he's still needing to pit, that'll open up these two here, Slenderfella and Gasman, to a battle for the podium. And that will be an exciting battle without doubt. Williams versus McLaren. You love to see it. Historic teams everywhere you look. We've changed up how the rules are for what teams you can pick for this season. So I'm also noticing Bunnies has not touched his overtake yet. I haven't even thought about overtake much yet in this race. You can see a green light above Bunny's head. That means he has 25% or more of his overtake left, and he hasn't even touched it, actually. Wendigo also has more than 25% left. I don't know if there's anybody below 25%. As there we go, Slenderfella below 25%, and that is why he has a red light above his head. The red light means that he has 25% or less of his overtake left, and if you see anybody without a light above their head, that means that they have no overtake left. Historic teams everywhere you look. We've changed the rules this season. Now you can pick any team that has scored points or is on the current Formula 1 grid. Previously, it was the top 10 most successful teams in F1 history. Plus two of any team that has won a race, but now you can pick any team that has scored points. So a team like Hispania Racing Team, HRT, one of the new teams from 2010 onwards, they never scored points, so you would not be able to pick them. But somebody like Haas, who has never scored a point, or apologies, who has never scored a win or even a podium, but has scored a point, you could pick Haas. Haas has not been picked, but being on the current grid, that opens up Cadillac as well. So we've got Williams, one of the most historic teams of all time. Cadillac, oh, a 103.3 from Wendigo last lap. That is rapid. He might have a shot at getting Bunnies here. Bunnies looks like he's about to be in the pits. Let's watch this. Does he go into the pits? Yes, he does. So Bunny's in the pits. We'll see where Wendigo comes out, or where he comes out in comparison to Wendigo. This could be a close battle for the win. Wendigo's not out of this by any means. We got teams like Williams and Ferrari and McLaren on the grid, which is fantastic for the historic value. We've got cool teams like Toro Rosso, not extremely historic, but they've been around for a little while in a couple of different iterations. And then we've got new teams who are on the current grid, Audi and Cadillac. We've got Team Lotus as well, which is pretty exceptional. Bunnies is out of the pits through turn 3 here, and there's Wendigo looming right behind him. Wendigo on the soft compound tires compared to Bunnies on the mediums. Wendigo is going to be closing in on the Canadian now. This is not over yet. Including this one, we have 10 laps to go. We've got about 9.5 laps to go in reality. Bunnies leads the way from Wendigo. Wendigo's not far behind, and he's got the softer tires. Wendigo. He's still looking good, but this is basically how it looked in Trial Mountain. On that occasion, Tamo had the track position. They had equal tires, more or less, but Tamo had track position. Wendigo was able to make some overtakes, but Tamo was always able to make them back. I wonder if we could see something similar here today. Bunnies, I would not bet against him having the track position, but I also wouldn't want to bet against Wendigo having the soft compound tires. It's anyone's guess who is going to win this one, as the Williams driver not very far ahead of the Cadillac. A ways further back is the McLaren of Gasman, and the Williams of Slenderfella, who goes to the outside. Gasman defending on the inside. That can turn into the inside if you're on the outside at turn 1, though. It doesn't, because Slenderfella just dropping a little bit behind Gasman there. Slendervilla taking a much tighter line through turn 3 than Gasman, so that's very interesting to see. I wonder if that pays off at all. Sitting in the slipstream, Slendervilla has less overtake left than Gasman. Gasman sitting pretty much exactly on 25%, a green light still showing though, over his light, or over his head I should say. Slenderfella's got the red light though, and you can tell why. He only has about an eighth of his overtake left, if even. Ajax behind. Under pressure from Punisher. So Punisher is quite close to the back of him. Ajax running strong though. He should, well, I was going to say he should stay ahead. I think Punisher is in his slipstream, so it's hard to say actually. And he's on mediums. I hadn't even thought of that. Ajax is on mediums. Punisher is on softs. Punisher actually could be in a pretty good position here. Rob on drums behind. Then Ben in 8th. Aloe in 9th. Not quite putting pressure on Ben yet, but keeping him honest for now. Tamo sitting in 10th. It has been a disastrous round for the round 1 race winner. His best lap so far, a 104 flat. Tamo sitting in 10th. This is not the round 2 that he wanted at all. Tamo is one rapid driver. There's a reason he won only his 3rd ever SNL race. Plus the radical event that we did in the off-season. Tamo, this is not much like him. I have to wonder if he's sick or, something is going on because this is just not the Tamo we have gotten used to. Alpha Capri in 11th. It's been a tough round for him. He's on hards for this final stint, which won't be helping him too much. He should be safe ahead of Lynchinus though, who is a solid margin behind him. Super Toxic looks to be sitting in the pits. Bunnies leads the way still. Wendigo, let's see, last lap, Wendigo, the last 2 laps have been a 104.4 and a 104.7 from Wendigo. There was a 104.9 and a 104.8 from Bunnies. So Wendigo is gaining on him by about half a second 2 laps ago and by a 10th last lap. We'll see what the difference is on this lap. Bunnies looks like he's actually used a sliver of overtake now, but really almost nothing still. Wendigo below half of his overtake left now. Gasman in 3rd. He looks a little bit more comfortable ahead of Slenderfella. He's into the red on his overtake now as well though. So he doesn't have that advantage anymore. But Gasman, he's not far ahead of Slenderfella. These two could provide us with a pretty close finish, I would say. Ajax, Punisher is even closer to the back of him now. Ajax under serious pressure. Let's watch this. Punisher to the outside. Can he pull off the move now? On the outside. Nothing doing yet. Ooh, that's a lot of sausage curve, and that's going to hurt his chance here. He drops a little bit further back, does Punisher. Rob on drums. It's Ben behind him. On track, it's Alpha Capri ahead, but not by position. Alpha Capri is a lap down on Rob on drums. Aloe in 9th. You can see, I think that's Lynchinus up ahead. Tamo coming down towards turn 1. I'd say we're running out of laps for Tamo to make a move on Aloe. I don't think he'll be able to gain on him. Aloe goes through turn 4 now. Tamo goes through turn 3 now. So I think a bit too big of a gap between them. Tamo does appear to be gaining. Soft tires will do that on hards, to be fair. But I don't think it'll be enough. I just don't think there's the time for that. Alpha Capri, running still ahead of Rob on drums here. Lynchinus in 12th and Super Toxic in 13th. At the front of the grid, it was a 104.3 last lap for Bunnies. It was a 104.4 for Wendigo. So Bunnies pulled away from Wendigo last lap. The lap before, a 104.6 compared to a 104.9. Bunnies has started pulling away from Wendigo. So Bunnies is looking more and more comfortable in that Williams. He's still under pressure. Wendigo is not going to let him go easily. Wendigo is going to cling on to this as hard as he can. The Lithuanian wants another win in SNL. You can tell by the way he drives. He is so rapid, and he wants more success. He wants more glory in SNL. Who wouldn't want glory in SNL? But it's been Bunnies who's denied so many people so many times, and it looks like he might just deny another person one more time. He stopped Wendigo from taking a debut championship in GTE, by taking it himself, of course. They were teammates in the Ferrari 296 last season in GTE, an Arc Raiders Ferrari livery for Wendigo, a Speed Racer Ferrari livery for Bunnies. Both drivers duked it out for the win of the championship in GTE. This is a familiar sight since then. Bunnies and Wendigo right at the front of the grid. We've seen them battle a few times. Could Wendigo close up and create a battle here? He gained 4 tenths on Bunnies last lap. Let's see about this lap. 104.5, loses 2 tenths. So Wendigo drops a little bit further back, so I've gone one camera too far again. There we go. Wendigo has a red light above his head. He's only got about 1/8 of his overtake left. Bunnies still almost full, as Slenderfellow's got to move on Gasman. They're battling down in turns 1 and 2. Williams and McLaren. Number 21, the Brit, looking to get ahead of number 89, the Scotsman, Gasman. To the inside goes Slenderfella, nothing doing there. He's going to have to wait till turn 5, 6, 7, that whole complex there. It's almost like a triple corner hairpin. There's the kink to the left, or to the right, turn 5, turn 6 there with the sausage curve, and another kink to the right here, turn 7. Slenderfella, nothing yet. He's sitting in the slipstream through the S's. Ooh, you can hear the tires screeching. The dirty air is not pleasant through those S's, but it turns into a very nice slipstream down towards the last corner. Slenderfella, he's going to go to the outside. Gasman defending the inside. The McLaren driver plays it nicely. Ooh, that's a lot of sausage curve. And Slenderfella's going to drop a little bit further back. We've seen a few drivers making mistakes like that, really just sort of flying over the sausage curve, and it loses you a lot of time, as Ajax is behind Punisher. Ajax is dropped behind Punisher, so the McLaren driver up into 5th position from 13th on the grid. And I have to say, Punisher may very well be my driver of the day. We don't do a driver of the day vote in SNL. Maybe that's something we should consider doing. But for now, it is Punisher, if we did do a vote like that I think my vote would go towards. Punisher in 5th, Ajax in 6th. Rob on drums in 7th, Ben in 8th. There's a lapped car between them though. That would be Alpha Caffrey. Aloe in 9th. 10th is Tamo. He's getting ever closer to the Ferrari, but I think he will just barely run out of time. It's a bit closer than I expected, but I do think he just barely won't have enough time. Bunnies looks a lot more comfortable in front of Wendigo. Wendigo had a couple of 105 laps, whereas Bunnies put it in a 103.5 last lap. Gasman looks just that little bit more comfortable ahead of Slenderfella going into the final lap, but it's not comfort yet, by any means. Ajax and Punisher, they're close together. Punisher, is he going to go for a move into turn 1? It's the outside line. Can he get it? Nothing yet. Oh, maybe he can. Swooping around the outside. That's going to be the inside now. He has to tuck in behind Ajax for now. Nothing doing yet for the McLaren driver. But Bunnies, it has been very rapid. Bunnies, from 2nd on the grid, will come home to win at Lago Maggiore. What a drive from him. Victorious. Wendigo in 2nd. Gasman, he's side by side with Slenderfella. Slenderfella on the outside. Can he pull off the move around the outside? Swooping around the outside. He's on the grass a little bit. It's going to be a photo finish between Gasman and Slenderfella. Who's going to take the podium? Is it Gasman? It looks like it's Gasman. It is Gasman. Gasman just barely gets Slenderfella. It looks just that little bit more comfortable for Ajax. Not side by side like the two ahead were. But this is going to be a really nice slipstream for Punisher. On board with Punisher. He's going to have the slipstream. He's got the overtake. There he goes! Punisher's just barely got Ajax over the line. What a move! He gets him in a photo finish. Rob on drums, 7th place. 8th will go to Ben. Aloe in 9th, and that was so close for both 3rd and 5th. That was insane. That was intense. That's what that was. Aloe in 9th. He'll come home just ahead of Tamo, who gets 10th. And I believe that is everybody. It is indeed Alpha Capri 11th, Lynchimus 12th, and Super Toxic 13th. So there you have it. There is your winner of the second round of the season. Bunnies, the reigning champion, takes it home in Lago Maggiore. Italy suits him well. He's won there a number of times now. The Williams driver, number 1 on his car for a reason. Champion the past 2 seasons, looking to make it 3 in a row. Wendigo, close but no cigar, yet again, for the Cadillac driver. Last time out for the Lithuanian, it was 2nd place, just behind Tamo. It's a little bit further behind this time, but not by much. Wendigo, apologies, still just off the lead. Just off the top step of the podium, takes 2nd once again. Gasman, up onto the podium this time. It was so close with Slenderfella, though. Gasman and Slenderfella give us a fight right to the end. It's Gasman who takes victory, or not victory, apologies, but the podium position over Slenderfella. One McLaren winning the drag race to the line, the other McLaren does the same. Punisher, the Canadian, ahead of his fellow Canadian Ajax, takes 5th ahead of the Season 9 champion. Rob on drums. It's another strong round for him and Cadillac. Williams should... I would imagine Williams will jump ahead of Cadillac in the team's championship now. But Cadillac does very well to keep themselves in it. They won't be falling particularly far behind. Ben in 8th. It was a tough round last time, but with some better tires this time, he manages nicely. Aloe in 9th. Not quite the round he was looking for, but he will be sure to bounce back next time out. Tamo. That is the story of the race. The story of the race being that Tamo, from last time out winning the race to this time 10th position. That is immense. That will really, really hurt him in the championship. It should drop him down to 3rd, 4th, or 5th. I believe it's quite close between him, Gasman, and Ajax now. Bunnies should just jump ahead of Wendigo in the championship. I'm not sure of the exact points. This is just what I've been told by somebody who is better than math. Better than me at math. Alpha Capri in 11th. Not quite what he was looking for this round, but he'll bounce back. Alpha Capri, he's a proven driver in SNL. We saw Road Atlanta last season, him taking a podium, and I'm expecting more results like that from him soon. Took a podium in his first season, in Season 10 at Suzuka, I believe. Made it a double McLaren podium on that occasion. Lynchimus, 12th. Not quite the round he was looking for, but he'll be pleased to have driven, I think, replacing Kaiser, who we hope to see back again soon, and Super Toxic. I think Super Toxic, not having the round he wanted, but he was rapid at round 1. Qualified 5th, didn't get quite the race he was looking for. Qualified 5th, though. He'll be looking to do better. Shocking race for me, least said the better, or less said the better. On to the next one, says Alpha Capri. And that's the right mentality to take, I'd say. On to the next one. You always have to look forwards. Good round or bad, you can't keep looking back at the previous ones. You gotta move forwards. Tamo saying it did not go to the plan. Well, Tamo, we have seen absolute rapid pace from him so far in his SNL career. Don't expect this to be representative of what he does next round. I'd say he'll be back up at the front. Super Toxic, I think we'll see a bit further up again. Hopefully, the tough round motivates him to make sure he can do even better make sure he can have a better round next time. It's Bunnies, your winner from round 2. Next up, 31 laps of Tokyo Expressway south clockwise. So I'm just going to double check that is correct. Yes, Tokyo Expressway south clockwise, 31 laps, March 15th, that's just under a week from now. We'll see you all there, drivers. We'll see you all there a day later, spectators. Thank you to everybody who watched, and good